Welcome back to a new episode of TechBites. I'm your host Erickson, here to talk about Google's future as the dominant search engine. Let me ask you a few questions about your internet usage. What's your favorite internet website? When you access the internet, where are you automatically redirected? Well, the answers to these questions could vary depending on what you mainly do on the internet and where you're from. If you're Chinese, I'm guessing you use Baidu. If you're Russian, I'm guessing Yandex. If you're Japanese or Korean, you're using Yahoo or Naver. However, except for these very few countries, the world is pretty much dominated by one biggest search engine, Google. Google is the dominant search engine that accounts for 92% of the worldwide search engine market share. All the other search engines such as Bing, Yahoo, Yandex, Baidu, and DuckDuckGo account for less than 10% of the market share in total. Despite the dominance of Google in the search engine market, many people are questioning whether it will remain relevant in the future with the emergence and integration of AI. Is Google still a thing after the new Bing and all these new conversational large language models? Well, let's find out. In December 2022, there was a news that Microsoft is investing heavily in the new generative AI model of OpenAI, which led to Google's management issuing a code red. 7th of February of 2023 was a big day for Microsoft with the launch of its AI-powered new Bing. The next day, on the 8th of February, Google finally launched its chatbot Bard powered by Lambda. What Google did not know was that this launch would lead to a 9% drop in shares for Alphabet, Google's parent company. This amounts to $100 billion of loss in market value. This was all due to one small mistake Bard made during the presentation in Paris. When Bard was asked about the James Webb Telescope, it replied saying that the James Webb Telescope took the first picture of a planet outside our own solar system. The mistake was noticed immediately by the experts and took the whole spotlight of the Paris presentation. Some commented on the mistake saying that Google was rushing too much to prove their dominance in the market due to the emergence of new Bing, when in fact they were not thoroughly prepared. The mistake was pretty embarrassing for Google and the stock market did not go easy on them. However, as users, we should know that it is not just Google's Bard that makes these mistakes. A hallucination, or in other words, a confabulation, is when an AI confidently responds with false information that is not supported by its training data. Hallucinations are a common problem that the generative AI models are still trying to reduce and overcome. Even Bard's biggest counterpart, OpenAI's GPT-4, has yet to overcome this issue. Now the important question is, how damaging were these series of events for Google and what's the future for search engines? Despite embarrassingly showcasing Bard's hallucination to the entire world in February, most experts believe that Google is still very powerful and will not give up its dominance anytime soon. Conversational chatbots are what people are usually referring to when they talk about AI in search engines. Of course, the addition of conversational chatbots is drastically changing how people query in search engines. Before, search engines merely listed the relevant websites to users. But now they provide an answer to the questions in full sentences. However, these chatbots are not the only AI that is used in search engines. To make the search experience more smooth and comfortable, search engines are and will continue to be integrating different aspects such as text, voice, image, and maps. Google is still certainly one of the greatest leaders in the field of AI and is working on improving its service amid the increase in market competition. Google has recently introduced PaLM 2, Google's next-generation multilingual large language model. It has also introduced its Project Maggie, aiming to transform how we search and interact with the internet. This will totally replace the current Google search model, which started in the year 1998. However, despite Google's efforts, we still cannot be assured that Google will remain the single dominant player in the search engine market since it has lots to lose. It was recently released that the South Korean electronics giant Samsung was considering replacing Google with Microsoft's Bing as the default search engine on its devices. According to the New York Times, Google Search was in panic after the threat of Samsung. This was indeed a big threat to Google since 57% of Google's total revenue comes from the search engine alone. Although Google and Microsoft's Bing are leading the shift of search engines using generative AI, the market is getting more competitive than ever before. The search engine U.com was first launched in 2021. It provides users with various search-related applications of AI such as search customization, AI chat, and code mode. South Korea's most famous search engine Naver, which accounts for 61% of the South Korean market share, has also declared to join the war on generative AI. Executives of Naver have commented about the recent surge of AI in the search engine market, saying that they see it as an opportunity, not a threat. Naver's confidence roots in its expanded business model. Naver has increasingly expanded its business from a search engine to adding Naver Webtoon, Naver Pay, and Naver Shopping. The revenue from search engines alone accounts for only 49% of their total revenue. Nobody knows whether Google will remain as the sole dominant figure of the search engine market, or Bing and other competitors will slowly take up more of the market share. But one thing that we know for sure is that we will see a drastic change in search engines, and maybe even a total reformatting that could affect their users. Search engine marketing, SEM in short, is the major revenue source of Google and other search engines. Search engines and website owners make revenue by showing ads to users. With conversational chatbots, the frequency of users visiting these websites could decrease, and experts are concerned that the revenue from search engine marketing will go down. Since we know that the inevitable reform is coming, it will be important for business and website owners to stay ahead in order to seek new ways to replace the old. That concludes today's episode on Google's dominance as a search engine. This was Erickson from TechBites. Thanks for tuning in.